world is ours. The world is ours. The world is ours. The world is ours. The world is ours.
Ladies and gentlemen, the World is Ours podcast channel, episode 3. I have for you today a very good buddy. His name is Tim. He goes by Timur Z. He is a very wise gentleman. He's a person who marches to the beat of his own drum, a person who lives his own life by his own accord. Tim is a person who helps others achieve greatness as he has. He helps them by coaching the goals that they have or any dreams that they have. Timur Z is a coach and helps them and gives them the ability to achieve those goals by mentoring and by leading by example. He loves traveling and discovering new cultures, as well as the ways of life in those particular cultures and different experiences in those particular cultures and or countries that he visits. Ladies and gentlemen, Timur Z.
How's it going, Fabs?
What's up, my buddy? Welcome.
Excellent. Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your presence and the ability for you to come here on air and share your knowledge as well as your coaching experiences and your motive and your way of living your life, Tim.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about these things and about the stuff I've been working on, and can't wait.
Yourself and I, we definitely share that similar mindset as we've emphasized and we've greatly elaborated on in episode 1 and 2, mindset, Tim. And what brings us together not only as friends and good buddies, and even yourself supporting my barbershop and my business for haircuts, which I greatly appreciate. There's more to it. There's more that connects us as good buddies and individuals. It's the mindset. Right, Tim. So if you'd like to elaborate, first off, before anything, where you came from and how you got here, Tim.
Okay. Well, I'm a bit older, so my story is a bit longer. Wiser, yeah. Well, hey, I don't mind the age. Like that, I'm not someone who runs away from it. Definitely, I would say I'm wiser, but only because I've made the mistakes. That's how you really, right? Learning from your mistakes and applying it. And I made lots of them. I moved out on my own when I was 16 years old, but I always worked hard, like 80 hours a week, go to school full time. By my early 20s, I was running restaurants, multi-million-dollar businesses in the 90s. There you go. I dated myself a bit. I did my 20s in my 90s, in the 90s.
Those were good years. Good years. 91, there was legends born in 91.
Damn right. I'm guessing you were one of them.
I was, my friend. Yes, yeah. 1991 was the creation of myself.
Well, perfect. See, great era to be alive in.
Most definitely.
By my 30s, I was looking for something else, and I actually went into welding and production. And before I knew it, I rose up in that field as well. And then I broke my neck, actually, and had cervical spinal cord surgery and artificial pieces put in. And then after a life of a lot of highs, I went through a dark time for about 4 or 5 years when you come to the realization, I can't, jump off mountains anymore. I can't climb them. I can't jump out of planes. I can't play a pickup game of basketball with my friends and like all the things. I lived a very physical life. So I went into a really dark place.
Right.
And, no one can ever pull you out of that. You have to make the decision yourself. So I educated myself. I read more than 60 books on how to become the person you want to be, on motivation, on how our brain works, on why we think this way, why we make those choices. And really from that and help of others who helped lift me up when I wasn't in the best place, eventually I came out of a depression, deep depression, and I just started living my life very differently. Realizing what makes me happy isn't what makes other people happy. And
most definitely,
I realized the illusion and I understood the game that the world was asking me to play. And also realizing that game was never for me. And then after I broke my neck and lost a lot of that physicality, wasn't a game I could win at or enjoy anymore.
Right.
So
And that change started within.
100%. And it starts with your mindset. And actually, one of the first books I read back then, 14, 15 years ago, was a book called Mindset. And it was all about having a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. Which
So
I guess
you have your two mindsets. If we broke it down, the growth mindset and the set mindset, right?
Yeah, or set or fixed. Yeah. And fixed mindset is things will never get better. That's just the way it is. Politicians do, you know what I mean? And not really taking the self-responsibility or believing things can get better.
Right.
Or if you do, it's just words and not true belief in action. Whereas a growth mindset is, I can do this. I am going to do this. I'm going to try this. Why not?
Correct.
Right. And it's having awareness over yourself and how you're thinking in a moment and how you approach things. If you approach things with, oh, this is going to suck, but you'll never get that full experience if you just don't dive in, right?
Optimism.
If you don't get in the water, you're not going to swim. Yeah.
Correct.
Be optimistic about it. 100%.
100%. So growth mindset and versus set or a fixed mindset. Correct.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. And with everything you do, if you approach it with a growth mindset, being aware and open, you have a much better chance of succeeding. And I will tell you, in the end, you will succeed if you approach things with a growth mindset. Even if you don't succeed in the way you think you're going to, you will always end up in a better place. Whereas
that growth mindset allows you to not plateau.
100%. Because once you're fixed, you're only keeping up with everyone else, or a lot of fixed mindsets will stop and just watch people keep moving because people keep working. They keep working. So the second you stop improving, you get old and the world passes you by. And you're one of those people saying, I don't understand this. I can't do this. Why are they always changing the settings on my, those people
narrow-minded approach.
And can't cope with the world because everything is so frustrating and
understood
demanding. And and it's just not, when you live that way, you become miserable because there's never any improvement.
With social media bigger than ever nowadays, the younger generation, allowing that to fill their mind. Everybody scrolls on a news feed. Everybody is on social media nowadays more than ever, as well as YouTube. I believe that these kids and the younger generations, they're constantly on social media. They're constantly watching different things. I believe it's overwhelming to them. But if it's used as a tool to, like you just said, growth mindset, if that is used as a tool and is correlated in a proper way to the growth mindset, I believe that's where the change and the positive change starts.
I became a traveler and literally once every 1, 2, 3 years, go relocate myself to someplace else in the world for 3 months at minimum. The only reason I was able to do that is scrolling through social media and watching other people doing it and saying, why not me? And I can do that too. And reaching out to people doing it and saying,
instead of living through others, instead of living through somebody else.
That inspires me. I want to be that.
And that's a proper approach, Tim. Instead of vicariously living through somebody else, as a lot of people do, all of us in a way are guilty for that. But I think the majority of people, yourself, the way you're describing and explaining it, you weren't that person that vicariously lived through somebody else. You said, I want to do that. And you did that. And you made a point to do that. Right?
If I feel envy or jealousy, that just tells me that's something more likely I want. So I'm going to go do it. I'm not going to sit there and be fixed and say, why can they do that? How can they afford that? I reached out.
And why can't you? Why can't you do it?
100%. Why can't I? I'm watching an 18-year-old doing it. I'm watching a 50-year-old doing it. I'm watching a 70-year-old do it. Why the hell can't I?
So why can't you? And just like we said, the age, 54 years young, correct, Tim?
Almost 52, but thank you for adding
my apologies.
2 years of wisdom. That's okay. Hey,
52. My apologies. Getting ahead of myself here. 52 years young. And
100%.
The mindset that you have, I believe, is the mindset of a younger
maybe so
man, and I think that works to your favor because age is only a number, right? And I think people change as the age changes or their age changes. I think they start changing
They come more
their minds,
fixed.
right,
They become more
right,
fixed. This is the way
right,
it is. This is the way it's going to be.
right,
This is how I succeeded. If you want to succeed, you have to do it this
right,
way, not this way.
right.
That's fixed, right? And I've
That's
watched
the
a lot of my
fixed
friends
mindset.
get old overnight because they stop. They
It
stopped
ages you.
growing. They stopped trying. They stopped. And all of a sudden, here's the beer belly. Here's the gray hair.
Right,
They're not
right,
happy about things, or they find their
right.
happiness through
The
monetary
self-esteem,
things.
I think,
Can come
decreases
down.
as
Yep.
well with that,
Yeah, it
right?
can. 100%.
Happiness starts within, and
Everything
looking
starts
good,
within.
most certainly, and looking good is feeling good. How you feel inside is how you
Reflects. Yeah.
look.
Yep.
It reflects how you look.
It
And
can.
man, I think
100%.
you're a prime example.
Well, thank you.
Again, you don't look the age that you are. And we're able to be as good of friends as we are and connect as we do with that age gap, because it's only a number. And I think you've realized that more than ever in your own personal life. And now
Yeah.
you're living your life in that particular way. As we just said, the growth mindset state is how you're living currently.
And I'll tell you one thing, old or young, I have friends in their 70s. I have friends in their 20s. I learn just as much from my friends in their 20s as I
Right,
do from my friends in their 70s. And a lot of
right,
it is the reminder to stay young, to remember that
correct,
there is optimism, that things can
right.
change, that,
Optimistic
yeah,
mindset and approach.
being around younger generations and mentoring younger people has helped me remain young. So people are always, might say, oh, that's kind of you, that's nice of you. But by the same token, every time I help somebody, I take
Right,
something away from that. That helps
correct,
me and keeps me
correct,
going, right? As
correct. And
I'm
not on,
teaching, I'm learning. And as
right,
long as you understand that, you're good.
not only is it good karma, but it allows you to take from that particular experience
Yeah.
or that person that you helped. Like you just said, as you're giving, you're taking something from that for your own
Yep.
personal self as well, and your own personal growth mindset in general.
100%. You
Right?
got it. You got it.
We're not going to speak for everybody, but it's a proper approach in life. And the more you practice that and the more you live by that, it becomes a lifestyle,
Practice. It takes
right?
practice and
Repetition,
awareness. Yeah, because no one's great
right?
at it. There's times when my mindset becomes fixed about something and I might not catch it for a year. Maybe someone has to
Right.
say something to me.
Nobody's
Maybe one of my,
perfect,
yeah, and you're like,
right?
oh my God, like how many
Right.
opportunities did I let slip by? Like that's not, like, let me change that. And
You
it's,
reflect on the past. You can't change the past. You reflect on it. And from there, you fine tune and you make the proper, appropriate changes. And it becomes a lifestyle. That's the mindset that correlates to the lifestyle. Anything you're doing, anything you're good at, anything you do in your everyday life, it becomes a lifestyle. You
Mhm.
can go work a job 9 to 5, but if that doesn't become your lifestyle, you'll never be good at that job. You won't show up on time for that job. Your bosses won't value you and your work ethic if it doesn't become a lifestyle. So you go to work at 9 in the morning, you come home at 5. What pertains to that if we're talking lifestyle, right, Tim? You go to work, you come home at 5, but then you come home, you shower, you eat, maybe watch a TV show, and then you need to go to bed to get
Mhm.
ready for the next day and the next shift. If you're working 9 to 5, coming home, you're partying all night, and the next day you have work at 9 again, you're not well rested. You might not have the best of attitude. You might not have the best work ethic. That's what I'm speaking about when I say
Mhm.
lifestyle. Anything you do, whether it's a 9 to 5 job or you're an entrepreneur, you're an athlete, or you're a businessman, etc., that has to become a lifestyle.
What you do in your personal life will support your work life and your work life will
Right,
support. So if they're
right,
diametrically opposed, either you're not going to be happy in one and they're not going to be feeding into each other to make you more successful.
right. They have to
And
correlate.
then
They
you're
have
going
to
to
tie
become,
in.
yeah, in some way, in some way.
Most definitely. Most
I
definitely.
agree. The one thing you did say though was about the past. I will say the past is simply what you're standing on now. All your
Right,
past decisions, everything
right,
led you to your now. The problem with the past is some people don't know how to let it go. Yes, you take the lessons from it and everything else, but unless you
You
let it
can't
go,
dwell. You
you
can't dwell on
cannot
it.
you cannot live on the now. It happened, it's over. Take your lesson
Right,
away, but you can't
right.
hold that grievance. The
You
best thing
got
you
it.
can do for yourself is forgive others. I just read a new book. It's called Let Them, which basically let them be them so I
Correct.
can let me be me.
Correct. Most
So,
certainly.
you don't want to call me. You don't want to do this. I don't understand why family does. Let them.
Let them do
especially
it.
this time. Let them. That's them.
Let them do it.
And you know what? I'm going to applaud them if they're happy. If that makes you happy,
Most definitely.
great. But I'm also going to let me be me. And the only way I
Correct.
can do that is by letting go of all those other things.
Most
Yeah,
certainly.
you don't call me, it hurts me. I forgive you. I don't need to
Right.
tell you I forgive you.
Right.
I just let you be you,
Let it go.
and I'm going to let me be me
You got it. And God gave us eyes in the front of our head
so
to
we can move forward.
look forward, not
Yeah.
to look back. The reason for the creation of the Life Key program
Yeah,
that yourself,
it's
Tim, has
my new
created.
coaching program that I've made.
Right.
And for once, I've decided to put it out there in the world rather than keeping my coaching a little more private.
Most certainly. There's all these other books that you read and all these other things that you follow and view.
And I
And
really want to start sharing it
right.
while I still have a voice that people listen to.
Most certainly. Most certainly.
And people.
This is your time to open up a little bit more with us and our viewers.
Perfect. Yeah.
and speak about the creation of the Life Key program that you've created. Ladies, gentlemen, this Life Key program was created by my good friend Tim here. This program, local business here in our city in Windsor, Ontario, it began with an idea. From there, he took that idea and that dream to reality. From handing out business cards and having the followers that he has and the clients that he has, now Tim has decided to go to the next level. And we've touched base on it, myself and Tim, already a few times. The Life Key program is a program that I think all of us can relate to and will help us all individually. That growth mindset, as we just discussed, right, Tim?
It begins with mindset. Before, like the
Correct.
mindset is your foundation. It is your home.
Correct.
After that, I have 4 life keys, and they're like skeleton keys that will open
Right.
any door for you. And if you concentrate on one, your life will get one of these 4. Your life will get better and will affect these other 3 life keys. But you just have
Right.
to choose one you want to concentrate on, and from there, your life will begin to improve, and
Correct.
you will move yourself into a growth mindset.
Correct. These main life keys, Tim, if you'd like to elaborate
Yes.
for our audience, are
Now, the first life key is now. And I'm going to get into each of these with you. The second life key is choice. The third life key is habit. And the fourth life key is purpose. So if you'd like, I'll talk about each of them quickly.
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
The now is how you got here, right? Your past.
Correct.
The now is how you got here and what you're going to do. And there's 2 ways of looking at it, now versus living in the moment, right? Being now and living in the moment versus YOLO and instant gratification.
Right. The famous word YOLO.
The now, if you go into YOLO mode, that doesn't help you. I'm telling you, you're going to have great times, but the now and living in the moment needs to be connected to your purpose or your plan, right? The problem for most people is their ego, especially nowadays with social media. Fight people, we want to look at people, but we don't want to do. And then when past comes in, we don't want to let go. We want to keep those grievances. So all of a sudden you're keeping yourself
holding grudges.
Yeah, you think you're living it now, but every time you're holding on to a grudge, you're just looking back. The best thing you can do for anyone is forgive them. That's it. It's over. Now I can move forward, right?
It's a very easy, simple thing to do, but your ego, that's what deters people or gives the inability to do.
I can't do that as well as anyone else. I'll never achieve that. Or why do they get to have that and I don't? I'm a jealous person.
Most certainly.
Yeah. So
most certainly.
You have
Jealousy
to
and envy are 2
the now,
very big things.
Yes, is based on your past. So it got you here, but you need to understand where you are and be honest with yourself. When you do that, you can start building. But until you understand where you are, and maybe this isn't the first thing you want to go to, because this can be a really hard lesson for people, but that's what it is. It's accepting it and going forward and taking the lessons, but also learning to let go of your ego, let go of your grievances, let go of your past, let go of instant gratification. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to spend $200 tonight. Then I'm going to complain that I never have a nicer TV, or how come you get a MacBook and I don't? Well,
instant gratification versus long-term gratification.
Right.
Tim?
So to actually live in the now and live in the moment, you have to think about your future.
Right.
Your future now is the ground that leads you to just like your past led you to here. What you do now is where you're going to be tomorrow.
Correct.
So understanding that in the now is what's going to build you. So when you talk about now, that's what I'm talking about. your actions now as they pertain to your future,
Right.
as they pertain to what you want to do, who you
It
want
all
to be.
connects. It
Yeah.
all connects. Right,
Well,
Tim?
the next thing I'm going to tell you is your choices brought you here. So that's the second life key, right? Choice.
Choices.
And choice, period. So all your choices brought you here, right? That's where you are. Everything in
Correct.
your life was determined by everything you chose, whether you like it or not. You chose to cross the street. You chose to do this. You chose to get an education, not. You chose to accept this job. I chose to stay
Choices.
in a job that I hated, right? But there's secrets about choice that people don't understand. And I'm going to give you 3 secrets about choice. One is your gut is almost always right. Going with your true gut.
Instincts.
Yeah.
Instinct.
So trust your instinct. The second one is fear. Most of our choices are fear-based. So we don't do something or we do something because we're afraid of other consequences.
Right.
Or afraid of, you know what? I hate my life, but the devil I know is better than the devil I don't. So why am I going to try
Right.
and make it better when in the end I
Correct.
could make it worse, right? So people make fear-based to stay in the life they're living, to do the things that
Right.
don't make them happy because they're afraid of the alternative. Although,
Certainly.
and that tells me that you're in a fixed mindset because mindset's going to run through all of this. If you have a growth mindset, you're going to believe in your gut. You're not going
Right.
to allow fear to stop you. And then the other thing is, I'm going to tell you about choice. A lot of them are going to be wrong. A wise man once told me, make 51% of your decisions right and you'll be okay. Because
Oh,
we're going to
certainly.
fail. That's how we learn. I always say you fail forward. So
You don't lose, you learn. Correct me if
percent.
I'm wrong.
If people
A
don't like
loss
me
is
on
not
this,
a right.
sorry, finish.
A
Yeah.
loss is not a loss. A loss isn't. You didn't lose.
No.
You learned.
100%. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, maybe I made the wrong decision. But one of my coaching programs was, in order to get better choices, you need to make better decisions. I help people realize that the reason why you only have this bad choice or this bad choice or this choice and this incrementally better choice is because of all your old decisions. You're here now because of those past decisions. If you want
Correct.
better choices, you have to make better decisions. If I
Correct.
want a new car, but I don't want to be in debt, how do I do that? I need to
The
make
right
better
choices.
decisions. And when I make a better decision, it will lead me to better choices, not tomorrow, but
Right.
over time, right? You got to
The
get
end
over
result.
that instant
Right. The end result.
gratification.
Right. And the end result is what everybody looks at. But to
Yeah.
get that end result or to get what you want, there's things that tie into that and lead up to that. And like you just said, the choices and decisions are what lead to that end result or that end goal or what you might want,
Yep.
boys,
And if you keep
girls.
choosing out of fear, you're never going to get there,
Correct.
right? And sometimes you
Correct.
have to take a step back. Like your choice or your decision will be a step back because sometimes you need to step back to take a new direction or you need to sidestep.
Right.
And
And
you
to
need to let go
reevaluate.
that I put this 20 years or 10 years of work into this other thing that's not making me happy. Because other people will do,
Correct.
I took all this education. I did. You have to let it go in order to get into a new life. Otherwise,
Right.
you will never get into a full life. You can't jump to another mountain peak while you're still clinging to the last one.
Correct. Correct. And letting it go is what allows you to grow. Put that into our minds if it's not already. Allow ourselves to retain that. Letting it
Yes.
go allows you to grow. Small little sayings that, it's kind of how I go about my day and my particular life. There's sayings that we use as
Or
motivation,
mottos. Yeah.
right? Mottos. One of them that we can add is
Letting it go
letting it
allows you to grow.
go allows you to grow.
Yep.
Right, Tim?
Yep. If we want to talk about, well, we'll get into those another day. But before we leave choice, I also want to remind people it's not only the choices you make, it's the words you choose and choosing your
Right.
words wisely. Because
Right.
the can'ts, don't, I don't want to, I'm afraid, that self-limiting talk and behavior also holds us back. And I would say the first choice you need to make is to start using more positive words in describing
Right.
yourself.
Right. Pause.
Describing where you are because the biggest thief is what we steal from ourselves, and we steal joy from ourselves in just the words we use, in the way we
Right.
think about ourselves and our
Right.
behaviors.
Another
right.
reason you created this Life Key program.
Yeah,
Tim,
and all of
correct.
these go into choice. I could talk about 4 thieves of choice. I could talk about so much. The important thing is to remember that you choose how you feel. You choose how you see things. It may take time, but you can make those choices.
You
small
control.
incremental changes, and in the way you make choices will drastically improve your life.
Correct.
And the
Correct.
reason for
Starts
that
within.
is 100%. Your choices also lead to your habits, and your habits control your choices.
Correct.
Right? We operate. There's a book on habit that I love, simply called Habit. And there's also a book on choice and how choice can be. Actually, I have so much to talk about choice, but we'll leave that for another time. Just get to habit.
We got all the time in the world, my friend, and
I understand.
We value you and
Thank you.
And everything you have to say, Tim. Truly, and I'm sure my viewers and our fans.
Well, I
would tell you that too.
Okay.
We appreciate you.
Our habit is our cycles, patterns, and feedback loops, basically. Right? So the things we constantly do, our patterns, our feedback, if you're constantly talking to the same people, you're getting the same feedback.
Right.
Right? How are you ever going to change or see something differently? If I'm constantly talking to the same people,
right,
how am I going to understand how someone else feels?
Agreed.
Right? How can I be empathetic? I say your most important and best friend you will ever have is your will. And your will is the only thing that will change your habits, because we operate on 80 to 90% autopilot. Breathe, walk, when we get up and do things. Like, it's just a proven fact. 80 to 90% of our lives just takes over and does it. And that's why you have to have a growth mindset, be self-conscious and aware of your choices, of where you are now. And the most important thing with habit, I always say habit has a 3-step dance. And first you have to find that habit that you want to change and form a new habit. So maybe it is I smoke, and that's what you want to change. So you start creating new habits so you don't. Now, the beautiful thing about habit forming is as you create these new habits, it creates a domino effect. And other things start spilling along. And once you get that domino effect going, it's like on autopilot. You become one of those people. Why are good things always happening to you? Because I created the right habits. So I'm in that position.
I don't think it's just luck. People think it's luck. I don't believe, I'm sorry, but if you're making the right choices and decisions and you have that right mindset, good things come from it. And habits aren't just bad habits. There's not just bad habits. There's also good habits. You can allow yourself to possess good habits by making the right choices and decisions and having that growth mindset that we're discussing right now, right, Tim?
I constantly, at least once every couple of weeks, put myself in an uncomfortable situation. Like, this for me is uncomfortable. I don't normally want to talk in front of people online. I like talking to people one-on-one or in a group setting. But
most certainly,
you grow most when you make yourself feel uncomfortable.
Correct. And you practice what you preach.
Yeah. In January, I'm going to live in South America for 3 months. I'm not a native Spanish speaker. I've taught myself Spanish, but I go live in residential areas and I live life there. It makes me
feel the way the people live.
Yeah. And it makes me feel uncomfortable at first, but then you grow so much and learn so much. And my mind is expanded so much.
Learning the language was the first thing, then going and
accepting their culture, asking questions, talking to people in Spanish
that live there.
As a non-native Spanish speaker, like first couple times you're embarrassed, right? You're like, I don't say this right. But either way,
I think they appreciate the fact that you're giving yourself
you're making the choice to learn make the attempt.
Right.
That's
they respect that.
Choice. And that domino effect that now allows me to travel eventually hits a tipping point. Now people want to hear what I have to say. They want to know how I do it. Anytime I post anything, and I'm not on social media much at the moment, but that's going to change.
As we said, growth. You're allowing yourself to use these tools and you're allowing yourself to grow every day. And you have the ability, you have the motivation, you have the will, and you're making the choices to do so. These are new things to you. Like we've discussed, these are things that just because you didn't do before, doesn't mean you're not going to do to come, right? Socials is one thing that I think you'll get more attention to, and from here on out, you will create and you will be on. So,
and be a positive force. If you can help one person, that's all that matters in my book.
Right.
And the important
and that
thing
allows
also,
you to reach, but it allows you to reach the entire world versus the Life Key program that you had before solely in your city. You were operating.
Now I can offer to everybody.
Now
100%.
you can operate globally.
And with habit, it's important that you catch yourself, right?
Right.
If I'm in a bad habit, that's not a bad thing. Because don't forget, in choice, I talked about self-limiting behavior, self-limiting words. Those are habitual. You get used to saying, I can't do it. Oh, I'm an ass. I can't, all those things that stop us from growing and being and saying we can't, those words become habitual. That's why I say all these life work in. If you work on choice, you will work on habit. And you will certainly work on habit, you're working on choice. So that's how these all work together. Now, the fourth thing I'm going to talk about is purpose and belief. And I promise you, there's no God talk here when it comes to me. It's not about God. It's believing in something greater than yourself. It's in a bigger purpose. For me, I like to share my knowledge. I like to travel, to constantly think I'm learning, growing.
This is what makes you you.
And then 100%. Now, maybe you grew up a certain way. So your purposes, your beliefs are already set. And then they'll set your habit and then your choices moving forward. And now you are where you are now, right? At any point, you can change your purpose and your belief. That is on you. That's once again, having a growth mindset. Who do I want to be? And that's how the purpose relates to the now, right? Understanding I am here now, but this is who I want to be. And know what you're looking for. You need to get more specific. In my old program, Better Decisions for Better Choices, we constantly keep asking the question to understand what you really want. Because a lot of times people think they want something until they realize what they have to do to get it.
Right.
And then, so they spend their life being in
That's why it's a wish.
Yeah,
their
but
wishes
they'll spend
or
their
their
life
dreams.
in envy. In I want this and why can't I have this? And I'm so sad and I'm not good enough. And then you show them, okay, this is how you get it. And they're like, well, that's not really what I want.
I think turning them from wishes or dreams, or it should be turned to goals, which you can achieve with the right mindset and the right choices, right, Tim?
Well, the thing about purpose and belief is you keep asking yourself focusing questions, focusing on your progress and not the end result, if that makes sense to you. So you always want to focus on the journey and not where you're going. And it's turning off your auto settings as you're asking the focusing question, right? What do you believe in? Well, if you're raised to believe in God and the Catholic Church, that's what you believe in. But turn off that auto setting, ask yourself, is that really what I believe? If it's yes, great. If it's no, we're going to ask more questions to figure out where you want to go. Right? And
most definitely,
it becomes about planning and developing yourself. In the end, and here I'm going to read something if I can.
Go ahead, Tim. Most definitely.
Yeah, find it. In the end, it's just really, as I read what I wrote here, it's committing yourself to growth and committing yourself to be better because you want better for yourself. Right? Whether it's a better house, better relationships with friends, better relationships with family, with your boss, a new job. It's understanding what you want and what you're willing to do to gain it. I live a very unconventional life.
To gain or achieve.
Yeah. In 2020, my life was much easier because, I could find a rental for $700.
Correct.
That was nice. Now I pay
a little bit different now.
Now I pay $1,400. So it took me a few years to figure out, okay, how can I travel and afford to live? And there's certain things I either had to cut out or had to adjust in order to live the life I wanted. And at some point, I had to ask, am I willing to do this? Right? This is where I am now. Am I willing to do this to get here where I believe I want to be? And the second I said yes, sacrifice goes into everything.
Right.
Yeah. But sacrifice doesn't have to be a dirty word or a bad thing. I'm
sacrificing. It's misperceived.
Yeah, I'm sacrificing this so I can be this. It's just like I have to let go of my past to move forward.
Sacrifice ties into choice, right, Tim?
100%. Choice and habits. Because habits are part of sacrifice.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. And these all tie in together, right?
That's the beauty of it. The whole Life Key program mindset and that growth mindset is the thread that connects them all together. That's your keychain.
Correct.
Right? The mindset is not only your house, it's the keychain that holds those keys. And as long as you have a growth mindset, as long as you're working on one, whether it's my now, where I am and how I got here, whether it's your choice, your habits and patterns, or your purpose and your belief, if you work on one, you affect the other three. They're they're linked in a way that cannot be broken. It's almost like a universal law. And once I realized this, it took me probably over 80 books altogether to get to this point where I understood all this. I'm one of those weird people who take notes and voice memos. And then I just broke it all down like it was my PhD.
And it made sense from there.
It did. And
right. You saw it clear.
anytime I talk about it or I talk about my life, I constantly am referring back to these things without even realizing it. Like it's just part of the way I am. And not that I don't have my down periods or anything else. Like this is life, right?
Right.
Crap happens, shit happens.
And now it's a lifestyle, most certainly. Yeah. But it becomes a lifestyle, like we said before, Tim.
But your lifestyle
now it's part of your lifestyle.
Is your choice. Most people don't believe it's their choice. They believe they're born into this system, this capitalist system.
Right.
But as you travel the world, you realize, no, everything, the systems we live in are just an illusion. It's just a tacit agreement we all make with each other that we're going to drive on the right side of the road, that we're going to pay for what we, right? But it's an illusion. There's nothing holding you to the rules and laws that we live by here. If you don't like it, you can leave.
Correct.
Right? You can live some.
You have the choice.
That's the game most people don't understand. The illusion is that you have no choice. You live in a system. Right. You got to live within the system in order to be successful, happy, whatever else. Maybe to get other people's gratification and praise you do. But once you realize that's not important and I'm responsible to myself, self-responsibility, being open and being empathetic and listening to others' experiences is what's going to help you grow and helps you understand the game. The more you understand, some people don't like new immigrants, but talk to them about their old lives. Let me tell you, you start to understand the game, the world, how we're all set to fight amongst each other, right? That's what they want. That's why I stayed off social media for a long time, because
narrow-minded approach.
Yep.
Right, Tim. I
we'll
think
never get you there.
It's just the wrong approach, right?
I agree.
And just giving yourself the ability to understand, open your train of thought, open your mindset, right? And allow yourself to put yourself in other people's shoes
and allow yourself to
fail. Looking at it from a different perspective. Well, correct. Accepting failure, like we said, a loss is not a bad thing.
No.
Right. Losing is learning.
100%.
If you can understand that and program your mind to think that way and making that part of your lifestyle, right, Tim?
You will only grow. That
allows growth.
Yeah. But it's being responsible.
Life keys.
It's all about being responsible to yourself.
Correct. We can all allow ourselves, if you allow yourself to do these life keys, every individual should be able to incorporate into their own lifestyle.
Yeah. One of the keys, incorporate one key and concentrate on it. The others will grow on their own. It's like when you water your garden, it all grows.
Correct.
Yeah. It's what you pay attention to. When I used to run restaurants, there was a saying, inspect what you expect. So if I don't check if you clean the toilet, how can I expect you clean the toilet? Right? Like eventually when you realize I'm not checking, you're not going to do. It's the same with your life. Inspect and ask yourself questions. Why am I here? Why am I doing this?
Do as you expect somebody else.
Especially in today's day and age. No one's going to take you by the hand and walk you there. There's lots of information online. There's lots of it, but nobody's going to take you by the hand and say, let's do this. That was your parents' job. And that's,
Right. There's so much available to us. Right.
But
when
it's
you look at
overwhelming.
it, thank you. And are people nowadays actually smarter than people back in the day who didn't have the internet or didn't have devices that had the internet on them? I don't think so. I don't think so, because you can have a iPhone or an Android and have the ability to look up information or have the internet right in the palm of your hands. But does that make you smarter if it's not used in the proper, appropriate manner? No. Right, Tim? So are people actually smarter than people back in the day that didn't have internet or didn't have phones or tablets or computers?
More information.
No.
Just more information is available to you.
Correct. So we have to utilize and approach life with these particular life keys that Tim has shared with you and our audience, and incorporate and allow ourselves to incorporate into our life, our everyday life, and make it a lifestyle.
But it starts with mindset, like you said, like we've talked about many times.
Mindset is everything, and that's a very
I can. Yes, I will. And why not? Yes, I
Correct.
can. Yes, I will. Why not me?
Correct.
And that's it. And go from there.
And stop blaming others. There's again, you notice as well as myself, Tim. Somebody does something, and if they didn't do it, they blame somebody else. If they didn't get it, they blame somebody else. Or if they messed up, they blame somebody else. Take blame.
And if that person's in your life, then that was your choice at some point. Everything comes back to your choices.
Correct.
Right? So you can now choose if that person is constantly someone I'm blaming. Well, that's telling me that person shouldn't be in my life. Right?
Certainly. Make that right decision, make that right choice, and that end result will change.
But if you say that to a lot of people, they all of a sudden will start making excuses for that person and start blaming themselves because they realize
like
I am the culprit.
I've discussed before in previous episodes, constructive criticism and truth.
Yep.
Everybody wants it. Nobody can handle it. The truth, constructive criticism, people can't take it. Tim, I'm sure you can agree in your own life.
So sometimes I don't take it well, but I walk away and a day later I'm like, you know what? I got to call Fabs because he was right.
You've thought about
it. That was me.
Thought about it. Right. We all are guilty of that in several ways, myself and yourself. So it's okay to admit to it. Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
Mistakes. That's why I have this knowledge or wisdom, as you said, only because I've made the mistake, but I've learned from them. I don't want to do that again. Living
is learning.
Yep.
Earning is learning. The word earn is in the word learn.
Yep.
If you notice,
you have to. I love that. You have to earn what you learn.
What you learn will help you earn and earn more. Right,
yep.
Jim? It's a very powerful thing.
It
and
is.
For our young generation more than ever, it might not be so cool to listen to a teacher talk in front of the class at school. We are making it cool to learn in our way that we're teaching the younger youth and the younger generations. You guys are always on YouTube. This is a main platform that millions of kids are on.
We're the beauty of this. Yeah.
Right. We're making it cool. We're delivering it in a cool way. We're, allowing ourselves to deliver in a trendy manner knowledge and valuable information to our younger generations and if you don't
like the way we present it, there's other people as well. That's the beauty with this wealth of information. Like, to me, there's no excuse anymore, right? Because information has been more free. Right. You can make the excuses, but there shouldn't be, because if you want to learn, there is someone out there that is saying it in a way that you can understand.
Right. And if we don't say it in a certain way for you to understand, there's other, channels, there's other people but we try to understand that and we try to deliver it in several different ways. I've said it on previous episodes. I'm now allowing my good buddy here, Tim,
to say it in a different way.
Present it in a different manner. Just like we've discussed before, Tim, teachers back in school, you might have liked one teacher versus another. Your buddy might have liked the other versus the other. It just depends on how that person learns.
Yep.
The one teacher might teach it in a way where he understands versus your buddy, he might not, and vice versa. It all depends on the way somebody learns and the way somebody grasps the material or content that they're viewing. Everybody's different in that particular manner.
Yep. 100. Yep. And what they want is different, right?
Right. But we can all relate.
Some people look for escape. Some people look to improve.
Correct. And I think this program that Tim has created, this Life Key program, everybody can relate to.
Well, thank you for
all of us.
Thank you.
Right, Tim? It's
I
something...
believe so, but I'm it's you. It's the people who hear what I have to say, and if they say, "Hey, I don't get it," or it doesn't represent me, they can tell me how I can improve. Right?
Correct.
Because I want this to be out there, so the most people can look at it and say, I can do that. I want to do that. I want to change my now. I want to make my choices better. I don't want to describe myself in that way.
I'm sure all of us have something that we can gain from this and something that we can change in our own personal lives that pertain to this Life Key program that Tim has launched a while ago, actually, in our city here locally as a business. But now he is growing and intending to grow here on social media and on these massive platforms that we have available to us nowadays that reach the entire world and delivers the message internationally.
Well, and you know what? I thank you for that, because in our discussions, one of the things I always say is why not me? Why not? You turned to me and said, why aren't you doing this on social media? Why not you?
Correct.
And you put me on
Correct.
the spot and stopped my own self-limiting behavior and thoughts. And
Right.
because of you, right? So the coach can be coached. And as soon as you realize
Correct.
you're
No, most definitely.
never the expert, and you take as much as you give when you
Most
give.
definitely.
Right?
The
It's an
program that
exchange.
you, most definitely, Tim, the program that you have, that you shared with me time ago, and what you've been doing here in the city locally, it's a great idea. It's a very nourishing and motivating for myself as well as others, a very motivating program. And now we are going to take that to the next level. You are going to take
Thank
that
you,
to the next
Fabs.
level.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem. And we practice what we preach here. We don't know everything. We said that before, but we constantly are growing. We're constantly sharing new things. And the main thing, like we said, is making it a lifestyle. So what you do in your everyday life should become a lifestyle. And anything you do, everything you do, that's a lifestyle, right? I'm a barber by
Yep.
day. That's a lifestyle. A podcaster, now that's my new
Different,
gig as
yeah.
well, but it's a lifestyle. So everything that I'm constantly thinking about most of the time is related to barbering, hairstyling, now podcasting. Like 90% of my mind and what I'm thinking of in my mind correlates to this. And I think that's what lifestyle, and what I mean by lifestyle, 90% of what you're doing every day, and think it should pertain to, your occupation and
what you're
your
doing
career
and
to
what you
better
want to be
yourself.
doing. Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Otherwise, why are you doing it? If you don't want to be better
Right.
at it, if you don't want to be, why are you doing it?
Right.
Why?
And it's just a simple job. Like we said, a 9-to-5 job. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
You work at a
You're gonna
grocery store,
spend
that's fine, but
50
prepare for
years
that.
of your life, of doing
Right.
it. You might as well enjoy it.
Right.
Be
Get
the
proper
best at it
sleep.
you can be. Yeah.
Right. Get a proper meal in. Make sure to be ready for the next shift. And you'll approach that next shift in a proper way. Your bosses will appreciate you. You'll have a great work ethic. You'll have a nice, clear mindset. You'll be well rested. You'll be energetic. That's what making it a lifestyle entails. And this Life Key program correlates to that, right, Tim?
I think so. 100%. Yes.
Mindset and making it a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
Agree with you, Fabs. I thank you
Right.
for giving me the time today.
Honestly, I
To share
appreciate
this
you,
with
Tim. And
everybody.
truly very valued. And I'm sure our viewers and our fans will definitely value your knowledge as well, and your presence. And
Thank you.
you're welcome, Tim. This isn't the first episode that Tim will be on. We will definitely have him on here again, just to kind of go through a little more in depth this Life Key program, and he'll have some diagrams and maybe a little presentation on each, and we'll elaborate on each a little bit further than
Can't wait.
we did
Yep.
today. Okay, Tim? And
Perfect.
his socials that he's building. And for now, just keep following what we're doing. The World is Ours podcast channel. Like, share, subscribe. And I myself will definitely help bring this globally and internationally, this Life Key program. And we will reach everybody, anybody in this world. There's a lot of us. And with the internet and social media, it makes the world smaller than ever. Right, Tim?
100%. Couldn't agree with you more, Fab.
Thank you again, my friend. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
And thank
Thank
you
you
so
to
much.
everyone listening as well.
Most certainly. Guys, like, share, subscribe. This is episode 3. There's more to come. We value you. We thank you. We love you all. We now have, I believe, over 500 subscribers, ton of views, ton of likes on our videos and our content. Thank you again for the love.
The world
We
is ours,
appreciate it.
everyone. Don't forget
Thank
it.
you, guys. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you,
you.
buddy.
Yeah.
Ciao. Thank
Ciao.
you. Ciao.